Inferno. Canto 12.
Era lo loco ovu a scender la riva. Venimmo, alpestro e, per quel che vu eranco, tal, ch'ogni vista ne sarebbe schiva. The place where to descend the precipice we came, was rough as alp, and on its verge such object lay, as every eye would shun. As is that ruin, which Addis stream on this side Trento struck, should ring the wave, or losed by earthquake or for lack of prop, for from the mountain summit, whence it moved to the low level, so the headlong rock is shivered, that some passage it might give to him who from above would pass. E'en such into the chasm was that descent, and there at point of the disparted ridge lay stretched the infamy of Crete, detested brood of the feigned heifer. And at sight of us it gnawed itself, as one with rage distract. To him my guide exclaimed, Perchance thou deem'st the king of Athens here, who, in the world above, thy death contrived. Monster! Avaunt! He comes not tutored by thy sister's art, but to behold your torments is he come. Like to a bull, that with impetuous spring darts, at the moment when the fatal blow hath struck him, but unable to proceed plunges on either side. So saw I plunge the Minotaur, whereat the sage exclaimed, Run to the passage! While he storms, 'Tis well that thou descend. Thus down our road we took through those dilapidated crags, that oft moved underneath my feet, to wait like theirs unused. I pondering went, and thus he spake. Perhaps thy thoughts are of this ruin steep, guarded by the brute violence, which I have vanquished now. Know then, that when I erst hither descended to the nether hell, this rock was not yet fallen, but passed out, if well I mark, not long ere he arrived, who carried off from dis the mighty spoil of the highest circle. Then through all its bounds such trembling sighs the deep concave and foul, I thought the universe was thrilled with love, whereby there are who deem the world hath oft been into chaos turned, and in that point, here, and elsewhere, that old rock toppled down. But fix thine eyes beneath, the river of blood approaches, in the which all those are steeped, who have by violence injured. O blind lust! O foolish wrath! Who so dost goad us on in the brief life, and in the eternal then thus miserably o'erhelm us. I beheld an ample fosse, that in a bow was bent, as circling all the plain, for so my guide had told. Between it and the ramparts base on trail ran centaurs, with keen arrows armed, as to the chase they on the earth were wont. At seeing us descend they each one stood, and issuing from the troop, 3 sped with bows and missile weapons chosen first, of whom one cried from far, Say to what pain ye come condemned, who down this steep have journeyed? Speak from whence ye stand, or else the bow I draw. To whom my guide, Our answer shall be made to Chiron, there, when nearer him we come. Ill was thy mind, thus ever quick and rash. Then me he touched, and spake, Nessus is this, who for the fair Deianira died, and wrought himself revenge for his own fate. He in the midst, that on his breast looks down, is the great Chiron who Achilles nursed, that other Pholus, prone to wrath. Around the fosse these go by thousands, aiming shafts at whatsoever spirit dares emerge from out the blood, more than his guilt allows. We to those beasts, that rapid strode along, drew near, when Chiron took an arrow forth, and with the notch pushed back his shaggy beard to the cheekbone, then his great mouth to view exposing, to his fellows thus exclaimed, Are ye aware that he who comes behind moves what he touches? The feet of the dead are not so wont. My trusty guide, who now stood near his breast, where the two natures join, thus made reply, He is indeed alive, and solitary so must needs by me be shown the gloomy veil, thereto induct by strict necessity, not by delight. She left her joyful harpings in the sky, who this new office to my care consigned. He is no robber, no dark spirit but by that virtue, which empowers my step to treat so wild a path, grant us, I pray, one of thy band, whom we may trust secure, who to the ford may lead us, and convey across, him mounted on his back, for he is not a spirit that may walk the air. Then on his right breast turning, Chiron thus to Nessus spake, Return, and be their guide. And if ye chance to cross another troop, command them keep aloof. Onward we moved, the faithful escort by our side, along the border of the crimson seething flood, whence from those steeped within loud shrieks arose. Some there I marked, as high as to their brow immest, of whom the mighty centaur thus, these are the souls of tyrants, who are given to blood and rapine. Here they wail aloud their merciless wrongs. Here Alexander dwells, and Dionysius fell, who many a year of woe wrought for fair Sicily. That brow whereon the hair so jetty clustering hangs, is Azzolino, that with flaxen locks Abizzo of Est, in the world destroyed by his foul stepson. To the bard revered I turn me round, and thus he spake, Let him be to thee now first leader, me but next to him in rank. Then farther on a space the centaur paused, near some, who at the throat were extant from the wave, and showing us a spirit by itself apart returred, exclaimed, He in God's bosom smote the heart, which yet is honoured on the bank of Thames. A race I next espied, who held the head, and even all the bust above the stream. Midst these I many a face remembered well. Thus shallow more and more the blood became, so that at last it but imbrued the feet, and there our passage lay athwart the fosse. As ever on this side the boiling wave thou sayest diminishing, the centaur said, so on the other, be thou well assured, it lower still and lower sinks its bed, till in that part it reuniting join, whatty is the lot of tyranny to mourn. There heaven a stern justice lays chastising hand on Attila, who was the scourge of earth, on Sextus, and on Pyrrhus, and extracts tears ever by the seething flood unlocked from the Rinieri, of Cornetto this, Pazzo the other named, who filled the ways with violence and war. This said, he turned, and quitting us, alone repassed the ford.